the graduating class of 2020 and the rootinest, tootinest cowboy the Midwest has ever seen. I would like to thank all the friends and family for being here or listening in to support us and celebrate one of the biggest milestones in our lives. Now, this may not be a traditional ceremony or what we expected in the slightest, but now all the bad grade punishments are behind us. We can sleep in for a bit, and we're done with high school. We're adults. I would like to give a huge thank you to parents for pushing us out of bed and believing in us to do our best in everything that we've accomplished. Thank you to all the staff and faculty for all they've done to help us through these tough high school times, whether it was help with difficult assignments, being a listening ear, or even just cracking jokes from time to time. The memories that we've had in Chisholm High School and skipping Chisholm High School will be hopefully something we remember for a long time. And since I'm speaking for the class, I would really like to take a moment to mention Joseph Hapford, who was an important member of our class and would have been walking across the stage with us today if things would have worked out differently. To the class of 2020, I would like to say thank you for the friendships, the hardships, and for sharing food with me because, let's face it, I was always asking. These bonds that we've created with each other will likely influence the rest of our lives, and I wish you all the best of luck in the future and success in whatever career or hobbies you choose to pursue. And I can't wait for us to go out into the world and make it our own. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Well spoken. Ladies and gentlemen, Chisholm High School has a long tradition of honoring those students who have excelled academically and thus have achieved the most outstanding scholastic records in the graduating class. This class is no exception. At this time, students, if I call your name, feel free to get out of your car and wave and stand up and be recognized. At this time, I am pleased to present to you Chisholm High School's 2020 National Honor Society member. Note that this student is wearing a gold honor cord. Jonah Gierman. Next, the Chisholm schools would like to recognize our honor students. Please note that these students are wearing a pewter honor cord. Jared Barney. Jonah Gierman. Emma Selmanen. And Jillian Williams. Also, the Chisholm schools would like to recognize our students that will be joining the armed forces. These students will be wearing a red, white, and blue honor cord. Brandon Cohen. And Colin Staples. At this time, I am pleased to recognize to you Chisholm High School's Class of 2020 Salutatorian, Jared William Barney. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the 2020 Chisholm High School Valedictorian, Jonah Clark Gierman.
Good evening, everybody. I would like to begin by congratulating the class of 2020. While I admit that the situation is not as we expected, I hope that you do not let a disappointing end taint the experiences we've had on our journey. I don't want to focus my speech on the negative and opportunities lost, but rather some of the positive opportunities that Chisholm offered during our high school tenure. There are many opportunities that have come from both the community and the school. The efforts of the Chisholm faculty have led to many of the memorable moments of my high school experience. Hopefully, when you look back on memorable moments, mostly good ones come to mind. Examples for me are when Mr. Lalonde brought the cross-country team to his house for a dip in the pool and a barbecue ever since I joined in 5th grade. Patrick Hake and Dave Jordan volunteered on the swim team for many years, giving us a chance to be competitive against the bigger schools. Despite having the smallest team in the state, we've sent swimmers to the state meet for the past 5 years. When I was only 6 years old, volunteers with the Northland Broadway Youth Theater helped me find a passion for the fine arts. I was very lucky to have Mrs. Zubich as a director as I pursued this passion. She spent hundreds of hours away from her family for little pay to help her students realize their potential and their love for the theater. Barbara is a perfect example of a student realizing this love. Interestingly, both of our directors were involved in Northland Broadway before they taught in Chisholm. This goes to show that community involvement can help realize lifelong passions. There are many more meaningful examples of kindness from members of the community and faculty. This level of caring is not found in many other communities. This is because other places don't invest in their students the way our community invested in us. I know that everyone out there hearing this speech wishes the best for each and every one of us, and they cannot wait to see what we accomplish in our lives. When people volunteer their time for my benefit, it is incredibly meaningful, so I have been trying to give back where I get the chance. I've played the piano at Heritage Manor for the last year or so, and there are very few experiences that have been more rewarding. It is important to help the members of our community because they continually help us. Wherever we may end up in the future, I sincerely hope that we can remember this. Through involvement in our community, we can continue a chain of good deeds that leaves the world a better and happier place. I hope that we try to give others the same opportunities that were given to us. It can be hard to process these words right now because we are all feeling shortchanged by life. The final months of high school were taken from us, not through any fault of our own nor anyone else. Despite how tragic the situation was, this is the perfect time to show our strength and perseverance. Our lives were put on hold during what was supposed to be the best time of high school. Some of us have missed our last softball season or our last track season. Some of us missed our last baseball season or the spring play. I know that I personally really missed taking my girlfriend to prom for the last time. Quite possibly the most disappointing experience we've missed was simply our last 2 months of sitting in class with all the friends we've made over the past 12 years. Our entire lives up to this point have been centered around school, and it hurts to leave without closure. Luckily, there is something that we can all take away from this experience. We can take with us the fact that despite everything that happened, we are still here today. We've been through a lot together, but we came out the other side. As the rest of our lives begin, we will be prepared for the difficult moments because we've already learned how to cope with them. There is nothing that can stop us as we pursue our goals. Life is whatever we make of it, and there is nobody more capable than the class of 2020. Let's not be remembered for the unfortunate loss we suffered, but rather for what we continue to do and the opportunities that we seize. To conclude, I believe that we are all very adept individuals that can live our lives without limits. As we find success in our lives, don't forget where we came from. Don't forget everything the Chisholm community did for us. As I said before, they invested in us, so we should return that investment wherever we can. Congratulations, class of 2020, and in the words of Henry David Thoreau, go confidently in the direction of your dreams and live the life you have imagined. Thank you.
that's a tough act to follow. Jake, well put, man. Really nice to hear that from you. First I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, parents, grandparents, family members, class of 2020, welcome to Chisholm's first annual curbside diploma pickup ceremony. Hopefully it's our only curbside diploma pickup ceremony. It's been kind of a weird day. This has actually been making me pretty nervous about speaking in front of so many people today. I'm used to speaking in front of groups of people where at this point about half of you would be asleep right now. So hopefully we want to be here and we are paying attention. But those of you that don't know, I just finished my 8th year of teaching here at Chisholm High School. Like all things in life, my time here has been filled with its ups and downs. But I truly do love the job that I have and the community where my job is. Those of you who don't know this, I do commute from Hermantown on a daily basis up to Chisholm every day. In the time I've been making that commute, I've had many people ask me frequently, how can you make that drive every day and take all that time? Really, there are 3 things really that help motivate me to get in that car in the morning and come up here to Chisholm. First is I don't have to make that commute in June, July, and August. Second, as my students always like to tell me that I am a nerd, I really do enjoy listening to audiobooks on the ride. But thirdly and most importantly, I really do love my job, the people I get to work with every day, and most importantly, the people I work for. And I'd like to talk a little bit about the people I work for right now. I first met the majority of this graduating class when they walked into my classroom on the first day of school of their 7th grade year. They resembled other 7th grade classes that I have taught before. Some of them walked in looking wide-eyed and nervous about being in high school. Some of them walked in with maybe a little too much confidence. I know in the words of one of today's graduates, Tiana, maybe that group of kids was a little bit cringy. It was evident immediately, though, that this was a unique group of people with loads of personality. We made it through that year together, and I witnessed the growth and maturity and learned that this is a group of young people that I can describe as being resilient. Like life in general, things didn't always go according to plan, but this is a group that doesn't curl up into a ball when things don't work out. They'll tell you they're not happy about it, as we're all aware. They're pretty good about expressing their opinions, but in my experience, they don't quit. It is true that when this group has something on their minds, they pretty much let everyone know about it. Once the class of 2020 made it to 10th grade, I was afforded the opportunity to be their English teacher for that school year as well. I never really lost touch with any of these students. In fact, some of them I got to know a little bit better, even though they weren't in my class. One of the things that I really like working in a community the size of Chisholm is the fact that you get more of that personal relationship with students, whether they're in your classes or not, and you never really lose track of where they are. The sophomore versions of this group changed and matured a lot from their 7th grade versions. I mean, they still knew everything. You can go ahead and ask them right now if they do. And they would still broadcast everything that they were feeling to the world. At this point, they were almost adults though, and from that standpoint forward, it really did show. There were always battles about doing homework and staying in our seats and things like that, but the conversations with this group became very rewarding. When we'd have conversations that weren't necessarily always school related, we'd cover lots of topics such as music, movies, relationships, faith, life in general, and often the people we've lost in our lives. I know these conversations were always meaningful to me, and I can only hope that you all feel the same way about those. One thing, once again, was always clear. This class did not lose the resiliency. Now, there's going to be a lot of things said about this graduating class of 2020 and everything that COVID-19 has taken away from this group. We missed out on a lot this year. Our senior prom was taken away from us. We missed out on our senior seasons of spring sports. Based on many conversations I've had with some people in the senior class, I know we're missing out on that final run in baseball and softball. A lot of us were really looking forward to it. There was no more last race for our track kids. And that just kind of was one of the things that is kind of taken away from us for sure. That experience of not having that proper closure to our high school careers is a very difficult part of this year. I mean, I remember my last day of high school before I graduated. We didn't have any cool traditions like Chisholm where we would drive around honking our horns or having crazy water balloon fights. But one of the traditions we did have when I graduated was the seniors were let out of school early on the last day of school. And we got to walk around the building and just kind of wave at our teachers and stick our heads in their rooms and kind of holler at them. And it gave us that closure as we were walking out the door before everybody else, because we knew it was our last time walking around that building with as a group. We missed out on that this year. Then I think back about the last day of school for you, the class of 2020. You guys remember that day? It was a really, really weird day. The uncertainty of the future of that school year, the strangeness of what was going on, it'll make it a day that I really never will forget. We didn't know if any of us would be back in school, if we'd have prom or graduation at this point. So you didn't get to drive around, so overall we didn't get to drive around the school, play that last game, have that final water balloon battle in the parking lot. But I think the uncertainty of that last day of in-person school is a huge personal misfortune for each member of this graduating class. But as Jake Jonah, sorry, is that the second time I did that? But I don't want to just think about what was taken away from us. I want to remember some of the positive things we do have from high school. This class was definitely has given me some positive memories. I mean, I remember what I was doing the day when Johnny set a new world record on the leg press. There was that day, one of us got to be a Backstreet Boy for the day. That time Mr. Backstrom ranted and yelled at us of how there's never really an appropriate time for the word use of the word literally. I think there was a time, if I remember, your dog ate your volleyball shorts. And there was that one time that we won the tug of war. Too soon on the tug of war? What about that other time Mr. Backstrom ranted and yelled at us about the use of the word literally? Some of these seniors are the reason one act went to state last year. I can remember having a mock trial meet once, and we were short one teammate that morning, and I had to recruit a replacement about 15 minutes before the band left. And Lindsay, how did we do that day? Yeah, we won that time. Some of the best memories we have are just remembering the times also that we had hanging out with our girls or our boys and just laughing and being goofy. We might not always remember what the laughter was for, but we'll always remember that we were laughing together. Those are some of the memories that COVID-19 can never take away from us. I heard this quote relatively recently, and I know I'm going to butcher it a little bit because I'm probably using it differently than the way I heard it or read it. And I don't even really remember what they were referring to as much, but I thought about the class of 2020 immediately when I heard this. The idea is that there are two kinds of days in life. There are good days. Those are the days that we wake up on time, everything works out according to plan, we don't spill our coffee, and then we go home and wake up the next day to face the world again. Then we have those days where nothing seems to work out for us. Our plans fail, nothing works according to plan. The toast falls peanut butter side down, and we make mistakes that we have to pay for. Sometimes we lose people who are important to us in our lives too on those days. We have these kinds of days and we wake up the following morning and we go out to face the world again. Those kinds of days are what we call great days. And I can tell you from my experience with the class of 2020, this is a group that has had many great days. Today is a perfect example. Nothing about today is according to plan. Nothing about the school year is according to plan. Yet we still sit here today to honor the accomplishments of the people you are sitting next to in your cars. I'm so proud of this class and the obstacles that you have had to face and overcome in the time I've known each and every one of you. So if there is a lesson to be taken from this whole situation we are in, it's that sometimes it is rare when plans work, when our luck holds out, or we always get what we deserve. The important lesson is that we have the chance to still make those days great. So class of 2020, always remember these few things as we go forward in life. Number one, always be proud from where you came from. Be proud of what you are being honored and recognized for today. Earning this diploma really is a very big deal. 3, there really never is a time when we should use the word literally. There really isn't. And lastly, always remember to be proud of yourselves, that the way everyone who is here to honor you today is proud of you for what you have accomplished. We all recognize the strength, perseverance, and resiliency you have shown to make so many days great. Thank you, class of 2020, and thank you for letting me be a small little part in your lives as you've gone through high school. And congratulations, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Backstrom. Board Chairperson, Mr. Robert Raha, Shelley Lappy, other board members, Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Janie Blanchard, teachers, parents, families, and friends of the class of 2020. The senior class at Chisholm High School has met and surpassed the requirements set forth by the Minnesota State Board of Education and the Board of Education of Independent School District 695, Chisholm, Minnesota. Having met the requirements, I am honored to present to you the Chisholm Senior High Class of 2020 for graduation. Please hold any noise until all the candidates have been recognized. Graduates, please come forward one at a time to be recognized as your name is called. Eric James Aldridge. Luke Austin Antonuti. Emily Jane Barga. Jared William Barney. Lindsay Elizabeth Bach. Tiana Rose Brayton. Dylan Nicholas Koppel. Nathan Benjamin Michael Koppel.
Good job. Lift the tassel. Up to the action. Yes. Awesome job.
Francie Katrina Ciani.
Perfect.
Brandon Trey Cohen.
Right here on deck. Yeah, perfect. Good job. Lift your tassel.
Marina Matos Cortez.
Good luck.
Barbara Ann Coward. Michael Jason Fossil.
Thank you.
Jonah Clark Gearman.
There you go. Perfect. Right there.
Ember Lynn Helmer.
Right on the X. Flip the tassel yet?
Hannah Elizabeth Heron. Taylor Ann Hollowa.
That's my best friend!
Congratulations. Right on the X. With your tassel. Stay right there. Just stay right there. Okay, awesome.
Erica Ann Hutchins.
Right on the X. Yes, you did it. Way to go.
Leanne Alexis Hike.
Right on the X. Way to go. Congrats.
Janae Rain Janizich.
Awesome. Perfect. Tassel. Yay. Come on, way to go.
Ivy Rain Jenkins.
Yay. That away, flip it right away. Okay, right on the X. Way to go.
Haley Ann Larson.
Congratulations. There you go, number right on the X. That was more than a flip. There we go. Right on the X. Perfect. Perfect. Way to go.
Micah Peter Ludwig.
Okay, perfect.
And everybody loves mine.
Hey, right on the exit.
Nice job, Mike.
Way to go.
Cassidy Lee Mackey.
Congratulations. Flip that tassel and right on the exit. Way to go. Perfect. Awesome. Congratulations.
Carolina Christina Moray.
Way to go. And flip that tassel and right on the X and a big smile.
Jack William McLaughlin.
Perfect. Congrats. Make that copy one time.
Joanne Patricia Miller.
Okay, right there. Perfect. I know you want to scoot right through there.
Isabel Lucinda Noyce.
That's okay, you'll remember that. Congratulations. Hi. Perfect.
Bailey Rose Olson.
Stay right on the edge. Hi. Perfect.
Delilah Jean Owens.
Hello, congratulations. Yes, perfect. Way to go.
Jonathan Lee Pearson.
No, that's not right. You graduated before you figured. Perfect. Way to go. Okay, right there. Right on there.
Ethan James Pasenda.
Right there, Ethan. Perfect.
Emma Rose Podliger.
Congratulations. Perfect.
Emily Lorraine Pratt.
Perfect.
Emily Marsha Renasto.
Stay right there, then too. Perfect, right there. Nice. Perfect. Okay, right there. On that side, yeah. Well done.
Daniel Thomas Rustin.
Way to go.
Emma Elizabeth Selmanen.
Stay right up there. Perfect. All right, way to go. Hold the stuff right there real quick. Yeah, right there. Perfect.
Jared Milton Sanders.
Right on the exit. Way to go.
Mason Clyde Sanders.
Congratulations.
Dylan Lynn Shaw.
Okay. Good job. That's okay. Congratulations.
Kylie Jane Spees.
Congratulations.
That's good. Yeah. Congrats.
Not away. Okay, right on the exit.
William Dwayne Spicer.
Congratulations. Well done.
Yep. Fantastic. Colin Raymond Staples.
Wait, right there, 1 sec. Yeah. Perfect, way to go. Congratulations. Holding the diploma. There you go.
CJ Michael Templeton.
Right there, perfect. That away. Awesome job. Right on the exit. Great job.
Lillianne Kathleen Thomas.
Right there, Kathleen. Awesome. And right on the X, holding your diploma and flip your tassel over. Good job. Congratulations.
Blake David Thronson.
Right there. Good job. Hey, you flipped it already? Yeah, right up next there. Holding your diploma. There you go. Awesome. Perfect. Great job.
Michaela Marquette Werland.
Right there. Awesome, Miguel. Perfect. Feel better now that she flipped the tassel. Right there on the exit.
Jillian Sasha Williams.
Right there. Right on the ice.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Chisholm Senior High School Class of 2020.